The cross lanyard is literally just two square stitch lanyards that are just stretched out and interlocked into each other. I actually have one that I've already made a while ago, actually, and you can see that I just finished it off with glue because I cut my strands too short, which is why this lanyard is so short, and I also didn't have enough room with my excess strands to tie it off, so that's why I just super glued it and cut it. This is E6000 glue, by the way. So yeah, you can see that it's all square stitching. And this is kind of like a baby version of the fluted columns, but honestly the fluted columns, it has more moving parts to it, but it's easier to stitch and it's easier to see what you're doing, because since these parts only stick out a little bit, it's kind of easy to just like stitch right over them and not see what you're doing and see, oh, why is the stitch wrong? And then you see that that's kind of stuck hidden under there. So yeah, let's get started with that. As you can see, you're gonna need 4 strands. I have 2 shorter ones and 2 longer ones that are twice the length of one of your short ones. So we're gonna start the lanyard right now. Everything about this lanyard is special, especially the starting stitch. So pay very close attention to that, okay? So you're gonna find the centers of all of your pieces, of course, but we're gonna start off with our longer pieces first. So you're gonna take one of your longer pieces on its center, and you're gonna just bring that over and around to make a loop and a strand like we always do. Now you're going to take your second long strand and run that under both. So we're starting this off kind of like a square stitch, but not really. I'll show you what we're doing differently in a second. Now I've reached its center. Move that out of the way. So here's where things get a little bit different. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. We traditionally bring the strands over and under when stitching, but this time we're going to bring them under and then over. Make sure that's not twisting. Let me fix that. And don't pull it all the way because it'll like just pop out. So just leave a loop right there. You're gonna do the exact same thing with this strand. It's actually not a knot in this strand. You can't see it, it's off camera. Let me get that real quick. There we go. Almost lost this. So this is gonna be a little bit trickier because this strand is loose. So you're gonna wanna pull down on these really tight, okay? So let me get that through. Hands in the way so it's not focusing as much. Come on now. Yeah, so hold that very, very tight, okay? So now, I'm gonna take one of your short pieces and you're gonna start at the bottom left and bring it under all of these to the top right until you get to the center. So under these 2 green strands, and it can help if you just get that in the way. Just run it under these 2 strands and then just like pull it up like that. I gotta move my lamp. I'll move my lamp when it's, you can see. I'll just move my lamp when it's time to do the full stitches. There. So you have that, and this goes over that. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna take this bottom strand and go over this strand and through that loop. And you're gonna do the same thing up here. You're gonna go over this strand and through that loop. So you should have this. So now we're going to do the same thing with our final strand, but in a perpendicular direction. So we're going to start on the bottom right this time. And shove that under everything. I really need to move this lamp after I get this part done. Just like this. And so you're actually going to ignore this. You're going to go around it. Not over it, but around it. And you're gonna go over this strand and through this loop. I actually don't think I said it this time in this video. Like, I usually show you the back and it's a strand and a loop. But that's exactly what that is. And that's how we're gonna be using it today. And making sure this isn't twisted, you're gonna do the exact same thing down here, over and under. Making sure that's not twisted. Okay, it's not, we're good. So you can tighten these strands a little bit just to check what you have is correct. So you should have this, and if you do, you can pull this off your finger and tighten it up. And with this type of lanyard, it's best to hold it and pull some of the strands like this rather than just doing it like this, I find. So that it doesn't curl too much into itself. So there you go. That's your starting stitch right there. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, I moved the lamp and it looks better to me. So yeah, hopefully it looks good for you as well, if you can tell. So yeah, this is our starting stitch, and I'm gonna do some stitches, some regular stitches for you, just to show you how to do it. And also, you probably know this already, I'm pretty sure I've said this in at least one of my videos. It's like when you have a starting stitch that's kind of curled and a little wonky looking, when you do more stitches on top of it, it evens itself out. So that's what's gonna happen here. So I'm going to start with my dark green, just bring them down. I'm actually going to turn it this way. And now you have your other long piece, which is my lime green. And with this, because you have this strand first, you're going to go over this and under this, over this, and then under this last one here that we're going to fold over soon. So because of that, the pattern actually forces you to do an under-over. This may feel very uncomfortable, which it is. But once you get the hang of it, it's fine. This feels so weird to me as well. But I got this. There are some other ways you can do this stitch as well, so I'll show you that. Now you have your sides. So you have this purple here. So you're going to go over this dark green and through that dark green loop. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but it goes this way. Over here and under there. And you also have to do this from left to right and from right to left with your blue. This is turquoise for me. And make sure you're not sticking this through there either. Because I've made that mistake many times before while making these. And you can see things are getting a little bit confusing, but that's okay. This goes under that. That stays away from that purple. And then you can pull that together. So there you go. That's your first stitch. And you can see it's much more flattened out than our starting stitch. I'll show you that again, and I'll show you a different way that you can place the strands. So, just in case that's easier for you. The next stitch, or the way I'll show you it this time, is I'm going to bring all these strands, these two and these two, down, just straight across. Just like that. So you can just naturally do the over-under pattern like normal. And you're going to start on this side actually. on these tiny little edges there, so that when you loop this, you don't have to worry about it falling out, because there's a strand here that you're going under. Under, over this, under that. And make sure you're not tangling any, that's a mistake, strands in there, because that is a big problem that you can face. And you're going to avoid this turquoise, go around it, go over the dark green strand under the dark green loop. I'm going to make sure that's not twisting. So there you go. Those are some ways you can do it, and keep making stitches until you're ready to finish off. Alright, so I've got my lanyard here finished up, and I need to do the finishing stitch, and I'll do that with you all, of course. So as you can see, you're going to need another stitch, but keep it a little loose. You're going to take the strands, you're going to bring them around and through each one of these spots in the middle, or on the sides technically. I'll start with this one. And these, you're actually going to bring them back around and behind themselves through the middle. So that's one corner. I'll do this side. I'll save this shortest piece for last. That's that final one. and pull all these up. I can feel them tightening up already. It's okay if your strands are like twisted like this, it doesn't really matter. But if that does bother you, you can go back in and fix them if you want. But this is the first time I've ever tied it off like this rather than just cutting it or super gluing it and then just cutting the excess strands off. So you should have something that looks like that. It's okay if it doesn't look perfect. It's okay if it looks kind of weird and twisted like mine, unless you want to go back and change that. And I'm gonna take the scissors and cut the ends off. Toss those out, obviously. And there you go. There's the cross lanyard. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.